Okay, today we're talking about mapping your success. Can anybody recall what we talked about in the first 2 days? Just the names and the topics.
Yesterday was the cost of success.
Cost of success. All right, day one.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Wasn't it what is success?
Yeah, redefining success. Correct. Now today we're talking about mapping success. Wouldn't it be nice to have a roadmap that showed you where to step so you can become successful in life? Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be great. Hey, for me, show me that, right? So today we're going to talk about how to build this map. Then we'll have an activity too. So how will you achieve your goals, your aspirations, your vision? Right? What are the goals, milestones that you need to set to achieve that vision? Remember what y'all wrote down yesterday? Mm-hmm. So that's like your overarching mission. Like what do you have to learn? What people do you need to meet? What skills do you need to develop? What type of character do you need to become to achieve and become that version of you? Right? I'll speak for my own self. When I was in high school, I thought I was going to be an electrical engineer. I thought for sure I was going to be running my own manufacturing company, right? So I was writing down a list of things I needed to learn. Well, I need to learn this 3D printer. I need to learn more than just FDM printing. I need to understand mechanics and robotics and engineering. I need to talk to people who live and exist and work in the industry, right? And all that tied back, well, I gotta go get a degree. So that's what I started working towards. Well, little did I know that my vision would completely shift, but it still helped me get to where I am today. So if you don't get anything else, I would say write down what you want, and there's some things you need to learn or obtain, the people you need to meet to get there. I got a full ride scholarship. Only one person that asked me, how did I get there? Y'all want full rides, right?
Yeah.
Please say yes. Y'all want to go to college, you should want a full ride. I told my parents, I was like, look, I love y'all, but if I don't get a full ride, I'm not going. I'm not paying that for what? They want my time and my money? That's not happening, right? So I created a roadmap. Similar to this one, right? You all can do it better. I've refined it to be better now. But I started with the overarching vision. Me owning this manufacturing company, right? Then I said, well, if I want to own that, there's some people I need to meet, some hands I need to shake, some words I need to learn, some skills I need to develop, right? So I started working backwards, setting goals, starting with the end in mind, working backwards. Then I would hit a milestone. That milestone for me looked like graduating college, right? I needed my 4 years. I needed that piece of paper that certified me and says, Jayden knows what he's doing. That's what I needed. And then to hit that milestone, I set more goals, right? And the way I did it was messy. You should have seen the paper. I thought about bringing it in and I lost it. But the way you want to do it is you want to write at least 3 milestones, and at least 3 goals between each milestone, between where you are now and where you want to be. And again, where you want to be ties back to that vision you created yesterday. And I will warn you, it's not going to be easy. But as some unknown person said, if you can find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead you anywhere. So if you're expecting life to be easy, that you're just going to walk into $1 million, you should start questioning what's its true value. You can get $1 million. You can win the lottery for $20 million. That doesn't make you a millionaire because you can lose it. If you don't understand how to obtain, how to keep $1 million, you're no longer a millionaire. So what you want to learn is how to make it, how to obtain it. My mom said a quote to me the other day. She was like, how could you climb a mountain if it was smooth? I was like, well, it was deep. Think about it. How could you climb a mountain if it was smooth? If life was just easy, how would you learn and grow from it? You can. It's from our mistakes. It's from the failures in life, if we choose to look back at it, that help us grow and propel into success. The epitome of growth is first failure. So fail fast. You'll hear that a lot. Fail fast. All right, now we're gonna engage in an activity. Building your future. here's the gist. Over here we have some Legos. It's a Lego activity. Y'all like Legos, right?
Who doesn't?
Thank you. Okay, let's do this. Engineering. So 4 people will be given blueprints at random. These are the instructions. Then everybody else will be given parts, right? And your goal is to find the people that have the parts so you can build the object. It's pretty simple, right? All right. So y'all did good. So what can we learn from this, right? We saw all the different strategies. I'll let y'all see. We saw all the different strategies, right? You know, what worked, what didn't work. But at the bottom of it, it came down to the people. So I want to see what did you get from it?
That teamwork, you can make yeah.
Teamwork can make a dream work. Love the classic quotes. How about this? This one, oh, you guys talking to you all, hey, no, she's right. So I'm an entrepreneur and I've worked in a corporate setting. I've worked like with my hands in additive manufacturing. And sometimes talking to people can slow you down. You know, teamwork does make a dream work, right? It takes a team, it takes a village to build an enterprise, to build a company, to make your dream fulfilled. But if you don't have the right people with the right pieces or the right skills, see I'm drawing that line, it can be chaotic, right? So I can respect they wanted to stick to their group. They know each other's personality, they can rely on each other to find the pieces, but without them venturing outside enough, it didn't make the cut, right? So these are things we have to reflect on in our own lives. You got something?
You have to see the bigger picture. I wasn't here, nor did I participate. But if y'all look, all of y'all had the pieces to like make the house, but now y'all had the pieces to each make a separate house. Like if you look, you're each having a different piece that would have built up the house. So I had you all work together as like a room instead of separate groups. Even though he said separate groups, would have been able to make the house.
I didn't say separate groups.
Oh.
Actually, the instructions, it said there's 4 manuals, right? And everybody else has pieces. Your job is to connect. Now, you all chose to go in silos. I was like, all right, we're going to see what happens, right? This is the business world. When you think about it, it's exactly what happens in business. You all are business A, B, C, D, E, right? You got something?
When people don't give all your resources to others, make sure you got what you need first, because when people were coming over, they're like, oh, we need that piece, can you take it? We'd be like, yeah, sure. And then we need that piece of like, no, we can't.
Yeah. That's facts. About businesses, like I was just saying, corporate America, nonprofits, all of it. You can't give away something that you need first, right? If you need it, like I need this to build my future. I'm gonna give it to you, then I gotta wait 5-10 years till it comes back around. Think about these things. If we're mapping your success, so you gotta think about what it's gonna cost you. All right, we talked about that yesterday. All right, to wrap today up, I wanted to tell you all a story. Is that all right? Can I tell you a story? So this is a dream that I had. In this dream, that was his name. And he lived in a decent house. He lived a pretty moderate lifestyle. He didn't have anything flashy. He lived about half a mile from a beach, right? So one day, after he was winding down, laying down in his bed, he had this dream. In this dream, he saw this magnificent lighthouse, something similar to this. This lighthouse, right? He saw it on the beach. And when he woke up, he was thinking to himself, why in the world am I dreaming about a lighthouse, right? It's silly. He's like, plus, I've been living on this beach for 15, 20 years now. There's no lighthouse anywhere, right? So he shrugged off. He was like, oh, it's just a silly dream, whatever. Then the next night, he had the dream again. Except this time, when he had the dream, he saw the lighthouse being built, almost like a time lapse. Y'all know what a time lapse is? It's like a time lapse. He saw it being built. He was like, okay, I see the lighthouse is supposed to be built. And when he woke up, he was like, well, I don't know the first thing about building, let alone building a lighthouse, right? He said, this is a silly dream. What am I even, considering this for, right? So the next night, he had a dream again, right? Except this time, in the dream, he saw himself building the lighthouse. He saw himself walking down the beach with different wood panels with different bricks, assembling this thing until finally it was fully erect. So then when he woke up in the morning, he was like, I get it now. I'm supposed to build this lighthouse, but I don't even know where to start. Like, I see it in a dream, but this is crazy. What are people gonna think when I go out and start building this lighthouse? So, he didn't do it. He stayed at home. And every night he was tortured by this dream. Every night he went to sleep, he closed his eyes, he would see himself building this lighthouse to the point where he started losing sleep. He couldn't eat no more. All right, he was so in anguish that he said, you know what? Okay, you win. You win, universe. He went to the beach. He walked down to the beach, stood in the spot where the lighthouse is supposed to be. He said, this is crazy, I'm going back home. Then, when he was on his way back home, as he was walking on the sand, he felt something like hard underneath the sand. This is crazy, right? This dream I'm having. And he looks down, he brushes some sand off, and he realizes that underneath the sand is the bricks and the wood and stuff he needs to build his lighthouse. What a strange place to find his materials, right? Right, so in his head, he's like, okay, let's get to it. So he starts carrying these pieces back to the site, one by one. Sometimes we have to walk a whole mile down the beach and then drag stuff back. Some things were light, some things were heavy, but he was committed. And then he started building the foundation of the lighthouse. And there were people that would come along the beach and they would say, what is this dude doing? This joker's building a lighthouse? For what? Right? And they would laugh at him, mock him. Then there were some people who would walk by and be like, man, this is amazing. This guy is building a lighthouse. We could really use a lighthouse, right? Then there were some people who were so enthused that they said, hey, I actually work in construction. I can tell you that you need to put this here, that there, and you need to build stairs like. They were telling him all these things. He was like, great, right? And some people even offered to help. Right? At the end of the day, he realized that this was his vision. Nobody else fully realized it but him. He was committed to it. And so day after day, you're fine. Day after day, he would go down to this beach and spend his time and energy building this lighthouse. Not really understanding why its purpose, I mean, obviously it's a lighthouse, but why this dream was given to him, he didn't know. And then about 8 months later, it was done, completed, erected. And then you could imagine him saying, okay, what now? Right? Just looking at this creation, he just spent all his time, his energy, he put his blood, sweat, and tears into this lighthouse. And then nothing. I guess in his head, he was imagining like some type of party to be thrown, some type of congratulations with balloons falling down, but nothing. He just stood there, then he went home, right? And he just went back towards normal life for about 3 months, right? But then there was a storm one night. This storm was crazy. It was like a borderline tsunami type stuff, right? The storm was so bad that the ships that were out to sea that night had to come back to land, right? The only way they were able to make it back to land was because of the lighthouse that this man had built. And so afterwards, when the news caught a hold, you know how they do. They film everything. It came down. It was like, oh my goodness, we're glad you all safe. Like, what was it like? And it was like, man, it was crazy. We were sure we were gonna die, but then we see this lighthouse running, and we knew how to get back home. Right? So they thanked the man who built it. The man was just like, wow, that's not what I thought was gonna happen, but I did it, right? And so this story is for each and every one of you all. Right? You're not realizing yet, you will all have been given different gifts, tools, dreams, visions, special and unique to you, that you're supposed to build. It may not be physical, like the lighthouse. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's an invention. Maybe it's a book you're supposed to write. I don't know what it is for each and every one of you all. Some of you all have an idea of what that is in your life, though. But sometimes we get distracted. Our phones, televisions, games, friends. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice, going back to the cost of success, right? Because you never know the amount of lives you can change. When you actively fulfill that vision, you could touch the lives of millions of people. Because you were born, the world has the opportunity to never be the same, but you have to take control of it, because it is up to you to fulfill it. Nobody else could have built this for him. It was a dream given to him. And without him actively working towards that, even when he didn't understand it, even when things got hard, even when it didn't make sense, he had to do it because in his obedience were the lives of those fishermen, of those ships, people on the ships were saved. So think about that. As you're going through your life, you think about the dream job you want to have, right? All the money you want to make. Money is temporary. You can't take money to the grave with you. What about the impact? What about the amount of lives that you can forever change because you were obedient? All right, I think I dropped enough load to y'all. Thank you all again for your time. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. If not, call it a wrap for day 3. Yeah. What about the impact? What about the amount of lives that you can forever change? Because you were born, the world has the opportunity to never be the same.